Did you make money trading last week? Well, if you did or if you didn't, watch this video and I'll show you how to make some money trading the pound yen for this upcoming week. Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm back with another chart breakdown video. I'm going to do the same as always as I do on the weekends where I'm going to show you the pound yen. I'm going to go through all of my levels on the pound yen, show you my scenarios that I'm looking for next week. And then at the very end, I'm going to go through all of the news for this week and which days to look out for more or less momentum. Let's get into this chart. So I'm going to start off on the monthly chart today because we're into September now. And it's the first video I've made in September. So if we look at this candle from August, you can see that the buyers did step in, push price all the way up into 186.70 area, and then it got rejected back down. It ended as a buy neutral type candle, not the strongest candle. So it's a little bit in between, wick on both sides. So not too strong, not too weak. If we go onto the weekly candle, we can see that these 2 weeks here, very sideways, neutral type candles, and then more of a selling candle on last week. I have my 8 EMA here and my 21 here for the weekly, so price could come down and get a retest down into the lower EMA here. As you see, it's been holding and reacting out of this 8 EMA on the weekly chart. Okay, now let's go to the daily chart. This is where I think we find something a little bit interesting here on the daily is our first real lower high on the daily. So we have a high here and then a new lower high established here, which was Thursday of last week. And then Friday is retesting the lows here. So something that I want to watch here is we had this big level here on the left previous, which was at the 183.70, let's call it. Excuse me. And I want to see if price can maintain above this area. So if we saw on Friday's candle, we see that price still is showing rejection out of this level here. So there's still some buyers present around this level. So I want to see if something like this establishes where it's just a range. So maybe it's not a true lower high here. Maybe it's just a range and we're going to go back and forth on the daily. So that's something to watch out for. If it is a lower high, what we could see is we could see price come deeper, pull back, make a new lower high, and then keep going short. But we'll have to wait and see if that happens later in this week. Okay, let's go down to the 1 hour. Okay, so now you can see my green boxes. Those are all of my more major levels, major areas. Remember, my green lines are 1 hour support and resistance. Yellow lines are daily support and resistance. Purple lines are 4 hour support and resistance. I know there's a lot on the screen, but the main areas to focus and look out for are the green boxes. This green box here could come down into this 50 area. This 50 area, if you look in the past, has been holding as a really strong area of support. It's been keeping price held up. Look how many touches we have out of this 50 area. Keeps rejecting, and then again it came down to 53, so almost 50. Strong push up. But if I'm going to look at the lower time frame, what do I see again? I see more lower highs getting established. So we have a high up here. I don't know if I consider this a lower high, but maybe if you want to call it that. This is a lower high here, and then we have a basing area here with structure, breaks out, pulls back, new lower high, and price keeps moving down. So you can see that right now the sellers are in control. And one thing that I want to point out here is look how price is closing below this area here. This was the area that had the major up move where, I mean, this is 184 all the way up to 186. So 200 pip up move, and the whole move got taken short and some, and it keeps going short. So right now that's telling me that the sellers are more in control of the market. But it doesn't mean that the higher time frame buyers can't step in this area around this 183.50. So this is going to be the big level for this week. Price could come down, touch this level, and get a really big reaction and just go all the way back up again because of that daily potential range that could be formed, which I showed you earlier. Another major area that we need to look out for would be this area at 183.20 to 183. This is the area I keep pointing out. Let me go back to the daily so I can show you. So this area is here on the daily. So it's this previous high behind the wall here. So this could end up being an important location. I'll watch price as it enters that level if it does. So a few of the scenarios that I'd be looking out for this week are as follows. So I'd be looking for price to test this 50 and potentially to take a long if I can find a confirmation entry to go long. And I'd be looking, I mean, if I were to swing trade this, I'd be looking for longs all the way back up into this level here at the 184.60 or potentially even the higher area up into the 185.20 area. I don't know if that's reasonable or if that's going to happen. We'll have to see. Because of all the selling momentum, I would also be looking for price to break this 50 area, pull back, and then give a continuation short. And I think if the sellers are strong enough, if there's enough momentum, we could break this higher time frame area at 183.20 to 183. It's something that you're just going to have to watch out for in the week. We could see something like this as well, where we break 50, come into the 183.20, 183 area, and you could see price just go long from there as well. It's going to be a little bit tricky in this area. We'll have to see if the higher time frame steps in or if the lower time frame stays in control at that point. So at that point, I would go down onto the lower time frame, 1 minute, 5 minute chart, and see what sort of reaction you get out of that location. My targets for shorts would be around the 182.80 area. Let's zoom in and take a look at what I see there. So previously we had a range that established itself here, and this is where the breakout occurred. We had strong buying momentum, push price all the way up here. So if we see, that's 182.80 all the way up to 184.20. So quite a sizable move, over 100 pips. So it's a pretty big move. And then the higher time frame location is going to be this lower level here at 181.80. So this would be another target for the short side if the sellers step in next week and are really strong and want to push price down. So just to reiterate, 50 is my main level that I'm watching. It could go long, or if it breaks, pulls back, it could go short from the 50 level. Let's get into the news for the week. Okay, so let's see. Remember, tomorrow, Monday, September 4th, is Labor Day. So it's a CAD and dollar bank holiday, but the European market will still be open. So it's one of those mornings where we could see the Asian or European market really push price because later in the day, there's not going to be much movement. We'll have to see. These days are always sort of mixed on my idea of momentum. Some days it'll really take off. Some days it will barely move. So we'll just have to be there, be on the computer, sit and wait and see what we get. And then if we look later in the week, we have a few smaller newses. So final services PMI on Tuesday for a lot of the European currencies. And then this is the main news for the week, which is the CAD rate statement and overnight rate. So any of the rate statements are always super important for all of the currencies. Even though this is on the CAD, it could affect the yen still or the pound. Dollar ISM services PMI, also important. Unemployment claims on the dollar, always important, the unemployment. That is the main news for the week. Also, one thing specifically for the pound yen that's important would be Thursday Asian session. Right here, we have the current account final GDP on the yen. So this could move the market a lot for the Friday London session. So that's going to be all for my video today. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe on the video. It really helps me and supports me. Also, if you want to join the Discord community, there is a link in the description of this YouTube channel to join our Discord community where I show you my trades that I take and I'll shout out the trade before I take it. Have a good one. Good luck trading this week.